I don't know if. Okay, I am looking at one concurrent view and one like.
Alright.
Two concurrent viewers and one like. Sorry? Here it is showing me one like. Okay, no problem. I don't know if. Okay, I am looking at one concurrent view and one like.
Alright.
Two concurrent viewers and one like. Sorry? Here it is showing me one like. Okay, no problem. I don't know if. Okay, I am looking at one concurrent view and one like.
Alright.
Two concurrent viewers and one like. Sorry? Here it is showing me one like. Okay, no problem. I don't know if. Okay, I am looking at one concurrent view and one like.
Alright.
Two concurrent viewers and one like. Sorry? Here it is showing me one like. Okay, no problem. I don't know if. Okay, I am looking at one concurrent view and one like.
Alright.
Two concurrent viewers and one like. Sorry? Here it is showing me one like. Okay, no problem. I don't know if. Okay, I am looking at one concurrent view and one like.
Alright.
Two concurrent viewers and one like. Sorry? Here it is showing me one like. Okay, no problem. I don't know if. Okay, I am looking at one concurrent view and one like. Two concurrent viewers and one like. Sorry? Here it is showing me one like. Okay, no problem. I don't know if. Okay, I am looking at one concurrent view and one like. Two concurrent viewers and one like. Sorry? Here it is showing me one like. Okay, no problem. I don't know if. Okay, I am looking at one concurrent view and one like. Oh, we have the first uh, person who's chatting. Hello, Rashmi from CPS. Oh, we have the first uh, person who's chatting. Hello, Rashmi from CPS. Oh, we have the first uh, person who's chatting. Hello, Rashmi from CPS. All right, 2 minutes to go. Oh, we have the first person who's chatting. Hello, me from CPS. All right, 2 minutes to go. So we have the first uh, person who's chatting. Hello. All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Sunday morning, and thank you so much for watching this video, coming online, and spending time with us. Some of you, or most of you, know about the program. You are here because you must have seen the advertisement somewhere, maybe in Instagram, Facebook, or Google. So thank you. You already know about the program. We will be discussing 30 most difficult questions that are asked in job interviews. Uh, the session is going to take about 1 hour or maybe less. I will try my best to keep it simple and easy so that all of you can understand. And because we are looking at an audience majorly from India, I will be using Hindi language as well. You can freely ask me anything you want to ask over the chat. Um, Now, because it is an online session, if there is any internet disruption or power supply disruption or any other kind of disruption, please don't mind. Have patience. I will get back to you as soon as everything resumes. So please do have patience, um, and you may choose to interact with me over the period of 1 hour. I'll try my best to answer your questions which you ask in the chat. Just in case you don't want to continue, you're free to leave because this session anyway is getting recorded. And please sign up for click on the sign up button. It should be there below this video. I will keep it somewhere. It will take you to our website, just like I had said in the advertisement. We need you to sign up. We need your email ID so that we can share the free PDFs which are really going to help you. They're very quick reads, and easily you can understand the language and prepare for an interview like a day before. So oh boy, so we had this power disruption for some time. Sorry about that. I think we are back online. A job interview. All right, so basically, when you are getting hired by an HR, especially the behavioral evaluations are divided into 8 categories. So let's look at the 8 HR segments that you will get evaluated on. The first up, communication. one of the most important factors, and we'll discuss three questions on that. Next up, learning adaptability. All right. Uh, and whether you are able to adapt to situations. Communication, we already know. It's not just about your fluency in English language. It involves body language and your tone, your voice modulation as well. We'll talk about that in our future live sessions. Very, very important factor of communication. It is not just about English, it's about many other things. So, communication, three questions, adaptability, how you're adapting to various situations, four questions. Work culture, what kind of work culture do you prefer? Right? The HR will be very keen to find that out. What kind of work culture that you as a candidate prefers, and whether he will try to evaluate whether our organization culture is suitable for you, or whether you can gel with us, with our culture. So that's another point. Collaboration and team bonding, very important factor. It's extremely, you won't be working as a one man army in an organization. Generally you'll be working with people, so they will be looking at your uh, mindset of working with people. So collaboration and team bonding, we'll be discussing four questions on that. Leadership skills, they would definitely want to know that whether in future, are you going to be a long term player, are you going to take up to fit into the shoe of a leader, right? Will you be able to lead your team down the line? So they want to invest. I mean, if I'm investing in something, I would want that to go for a longer period rather than for a shorter period. So the same thing happens during hiring. So leadership development, look at your quality of being a leader. So four questions from that. Growth potential, what is your definition of growth? So if you want to have a career in the organization, what do you think of growth? How do you want to grow? What are you clear about? Do you have a clear plan? Do you have a mechanism where you know that you want to grow, or you're just thinking that you want to grow, but you have no idea how to do that, right? So what is your definition of growth? So five questions, very, very important. So that's the maximum number of questions, from that criteria. Five questions from that. Number seven is creativity. These days, it's really upcoming. People are trying to figure out, because the job market is very nicely and very in a fast pace. It is drifting towards Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence and all those things. So it's extremely important for an interviewer to understand that, like, you're adaptable, which is number two quality, but also you have some sort of creativity in you. So we'll discuss just about two questions as of now to cover that up. And finally, the personal segment of HR, where we will be discussing four questions. All right, people. So there you go. Your 30 questions that we are going to discuss. They are divided into the eight HR segments, which the HR uses to give you some kind of grade, some kind of mark, some kind of score. And after that, they decide whether you can be hired or not. So these are the eight different segments. So when I used to go for interviews in MNCs, we used to have that sheet of evaluation where under each category we will give you a score, right? So this well, when you are facing the interviewer is doing these kind of homeworks on you, evaluations on you, I'm sorry. All right, so let's proceed to the first category, the communication skills. Very common question. tell me about yourself, right? So you see that red clock over here. So we have under 2 minutes to discuss each question. So that's how you'll be able to finish it in 1 hour window. So if it covers, then that means we are going out of time. So we will try to finish answering this question very fast. Okay. So I'm going to tell you very simply. Most of the people start with myself. Never do that. Never say hi. Myself is Sriman. Okay. So what you should say is that hi, good morning. My name is Sriman, or hi there, or hello there. I am Sriman, right? Or good evening. This is Sriman, right? This is how you should sound. When you are introducing yourself, don't talk about your family. Don't say that I belong to a family of 5 people or 10 people or 3 people, and don't keep talking about your family. What you should focus on your name, your location, obviously, where you come from, your certifications, the highest qualification, with the year of passing. That's very important. That gives a perspective to the interviewer. Experience, what kind of experience you have, the industries, the companies, the roles that you played, your achievements and your hobbies, and you should do all of that under 2 minutes. So if you're experienced, then your 2 minute speech about yourself should focus more on your experience rather than your personal side. And if you are not an experienced one, if you're a fresher one, then you should still focus on some of the projects that you have done in the school, or some of the participations or certifications that you have done in your life, that you should be focusing on. All right. So I would request for all the questions, I am free to take up your questions. Please prepare a video talking about, tell me about yourself, send it to me, and I'll be more than happy to review it and give you my feedback. It will prepare you in a better way for the next interview. All right. So that was tell me about yourself. Next up, same segment. Tell me about your strengths and weaknesses. Many people get confused about it. Now, first off, it is impossible कि आप एक इंसान हो और आपके पास कोई स्ट्रेंथ और वीकनेस है ही नहीं, ये असंभव है. हर किसी के पास स्ट्रेंथ होता है और वीकनेस होता है. तो कई बार आई हैव नोटिस दैट पीपल से आई डोंट हैव एनी वीकनेस, दे ओनली टॉक अबाउट देयर स्ट्रेंथ्स. ऐसा नहीं होता. यू हैव टू टॉक बोथ. सो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू कि 5 ऐसे आप स्ट्रेंथ और वीक, 5 स्ट्रेंथ्स 5 वीकनेसेस, उसको जॉट डाउन कीजिए. And most important is that sometimes what happens is I've seen that people will put their strengths in the resume. They must have copy pasted from somewhere, but they are unable to say, when they're talking about their strengths, it's not matching with what is written in the resume. So वो एक बहुत bad impression create करता है. It's in your resume but not coming out of your mouth. So be open and honest about them. It's very important to say, especially when you are talking about weakness. बोलना तो है, weakness बोलना ही पड़ेगा आपको. लेकिन जब आप weakness बोलते हो तो make sure that you are also saying about how to overcome, like say something that okay, I'm trying my best to overcome my weaknesses, right? जब आप स्ट्रेंथ बोलते हो या फिर वीकनेस बोलते हो, इंस्टेड ऑफ जस्ट सेइंग आई एम नॉट गुड और आई एम गुड, से दैट आई बिलीव वो वर्ड यूज कीजिए. ये एक बहुत अच्छा इंप्रेशन क्रिएट करता है. ये आपको न्यूट्रल माइंडसेट में रखता है, ना कि असर्टिव या तो पैसिव माइंडसेट में, राइट? सॉरी, ना कि अग्रेसिव और पैसिव माइंडसेट में, असर्टिव माइंडसेट में आपका स्टेटमेंट रहना चाहिए. सो यू शुड से आई बिलीव, मुझे ऐसा लगता है, दैट यू शुड से आई बिलीव आई एम गुड एट. ओके. So it's okay to have one of your points as a common strength and weakness, so that is all right. So just to give you an example, I believe my strengths are not giving up easily, working harder, being disciplined, and prioritizing my work. I believe my weaknesses include getting emotional and believing people easily, addiction to social media, and sometimes bad memory. I'm trying my best to overcome these using self development tools such as following YouTube mentors and constantly evaluating my decisions. So, this is one of the best answers that you can give for your strengths and weaknesses. We are taking more than 2 minutes per question. We have to be slightly faster. Very important question on communication. Why should we hire you? So ये जो तीन questions है ना पहले के, in the first three questions they will understand कि आपका body language कैसा है, what is your hold on the English fluency, ये सारे चीज, आपका confidence level कितना है, how confident, how pleasant you are, आपका energy क्या है, ये पहले part of the interview में they will try to understand. सो बी केयरफुल. ये जो तीन क्वेश्चंस मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूँ इनको अच्छी तरह से समझ लीजिए. व्हाई शुड वी हायर यू, राइट? आपके पास ऐसा क्या है कि हम आपको हायर करेंगे, राइट? द आंसर शुड बी अलाइंड टू द जॉब दैट यू आर अप्लाइंग फॉर. जैसे कि आप एक जॉब रोल के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हैं तो आपका आंसर शुड ऑलवेज अलाइन कि आपको इंटरेस्ट है उसमें. मेन पॉइंट है कि यू हैव इंटरेस्ट इन दैट जॉब or that skill that you have to say, right? वो that's why they should hire you because you have a genuine interest learning and contributing to the company. ये कुछ ऐसे sentences है which are going to make you stand apart from the crowd, right? कि आपको सीखना बहुत पसंद है, you want to learn and apply things, apply the knowledge, and you want to genuinely contribute to the company. भाई कंपनी आपको क्यों हायर करेगी अगर कंपनी को कुछ बेनिफिट ना हो? So you have to say like I am genuinely interested in the role, I want to learn things and I want to contribute to the company, right? You can also talk about taking feedback positively. आप ये बोल सकते हो. बहुत सारे लोगों का ये प्रॉब्लम होता है, the moment you give them feedback they become negative. अगर आप you are one of them, आप एक ऐसे टैलेंट हो या ऐसे कैंडिडेट हो जो कि अपने सीनियर्स के फीडबैक को नाइसली लेता है, पॉजिटिवली लेता है, तो ये एक बहुत बड़ी क्वालिटी होता है, राइट? टेकिंग इनिशिएटिव एंड एडेप्टेशन, राइट? एडेप्टेशन मतलब नए नए चीजों को अडेप्ट करना. इनिशिएटिव्स मतलब अगर कुछ आपका जो रेगुलर काम है उससे ज्यादा अगर कुछ कर सकते हैं तो आप करने के लिए तैयार हैं. तो ये कुछ जो वर्ड्स है, राइट, ये आपको यूज करके आपको आंसर देना है. देयर इज एन एग्जांपल, आई एम जेन्युइनली, ये एक एग्जांपल है मार्केटिंग और सेल्स रोल के लिए, सो इट्स जस्ट अ जनरल एग्जांपल. I'm genuinely interested in marketing and sales of an organization since my graduation days. It always excites me to see how different organizations use different marketing techniques, surveys, pricing, and positioning of their products. I believe I should be given this opportunity not only because I am passionate about this job, but also because I have delivered results in the same role previously. Or you, if you're a fresher, you can say, because I know I'm curious to learn, adapt, and apply for the maximum benefit of this organization and myself, right? That is why you should hire me. So ये जो कुछ जो bold letters में मैंने लिखे हैं, those are some of the key phrases that you should add in your answer. ओके, मूविंग ऑन. तो पहला सेगमेंट आपका जो था, सम ऑफ द डिफिकल्ट थ्री क्वेश्चंस आई हैव कवर्ड. दूसरा सेगमेंट एचआर सेगमेंट है आपका एडेप्टेशन. एडेप्टेशन मींस दैट हाउ आर यू एबल टू अडेप्ट और ग्रास्प न्यू थिंग्स, न्यू चैलेंजेस, न्यू प्रेशर्स, न्यू वर्क, न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी. ये सारे चीजों को हम बोलेंगे. आपके पास एडेप्टेशन की मेंटालिटी है कि यू आर जस्ट स्टैग्नेंट, कि भाई मैं इतना ही कर सकता हूँ, मुझे पैसा मिल रहा है, आई एम वेरी हैप्पी. ऐसा नहीं होता है, राइट? सो आपको कुछ तो दिखाना पड़ेगा एचआर को कि यू आर adaptive. So they will ask you a very tricky question like biggest change that you have ever adapted in your life. Okay, तो ऑनेस्टली अगर आपने कुछ किया है, बहुत सारे ऐसे सिचुएशन होते हैं वेर यू मस्ट हैव फेल्ट अनकंफर्टेबल और यू मस्ट हैव फेल्ट डिफिकल्ट टू अडेप्ट, बट प्लीज डू टॉक अबाउट देम ऑनेस्टली एंड डिस्क्राइब विद अ समरी. तो अगर मैं एक एग्जांपल दूं तो इट्स एन एग्जांपल ऑफ समवन हु वाज डूइंग अ समर इंटर्नशिप प्रोग्राम. सो जैसे लिखा है, ड्यूरिंग माय समर इंटर्नशिप प्रोग्राम आई हैड टू do a project in 1 month on a technology that I unfortunately had never paid attention to during the sessions. While my fellow participants were picking up on the project work really fast, I was lagging behind. I was pretty depressed and did not feel like continuing. But thankfully, after talking to one of my friends who came into my rescue, he made me understand many key things during after hours. We put extra effort, and thankfully, I was able to complete the project work on time with fair feedback scores. I realized that sometimes taking help from others is not a shame. People are there to help us out. It really helps to be open and seek out rather than being silent and secretive. ये एक जेन्युइन एडेप्टेशन है कि आप साइलेंट और सीक्रेटिव जो कि बहुत सारे लोग हो जाते हैं रिगार्डिंग देयर फेलियर्स, अगर आप उसको चेंज करके एक नया एडेप्टेशन किया कि आप ओपन हुए, आपने हेल्प मांगा, लोगों ने आपको हेल्प किया, दैट शोज अ क्लियर मेंटालिटी ऑफ योर एडेप्टेशन माइंडसेट. So this was one such example. Moving ahead, have you ever adapted something that was very different than the old process? मतलब कुछ तो आप कर रहे थे, maybe at your work or something, and you definitely adapted something which was completely different, very different. सो बेसिकली अगर आपने कुछ नए तरीके नहीं सीखे हैं, if you worked for some time and if you have not learned new ways to do something, then it is very straightforward. We can say that you have not done anything else, right? You have not evolved. So क्या करना है? So if you are a fresher, अगर भी आपने काम नहीं किया है कभी, you're a fresher, you can talk about preparing for competitive exams. So adaptation, competitive exams through mobile based applications, right? Standard procedure क्या है? Classroom में जाऊंगा, टीचर के पास जाऊंगा. But if you adapted something, like a non boring and innovative way of learning, on your own, then that is an adaptation that you have taken, right? जबकि 90% लोग classroom में जाते हैं, you belong to that 10% who has downloaded an app and has learned many things, and you can also say that it has helped you कि आपके आपने you were able to crack the competitive exam, right? Or maybe score a good mark. So if you're experienced, then you should talk about then you can talk about many examples. For example, simple things जैसे कि आपने एक एक्सेल शीट आपका ट्रैकर भरा जा रहा है, बट एक स्टैंडर्ड रिपीटेटिव प्रोसेस हो रहा है, आपने कुछ ऐसा काम किया जिसमें आपने मैक्रो यूज कर लिया, राइट? तो आपने एक एडेप्टेशन किया. एक्सेल मैक्रो एक टूल होता है. पावर पॉइंट, आपने एडवांस पावर पॉइंट सीखा और सेम प्रेजेंटेशन जो बहुत ही मंडेन और बहुत ही स्टैंडर्ड वर्क करती थी, आपने उसको creative bana liya, right? So these are some of the techniques that you can use. Okay, so if you can give an example that is related to your job role, जो कि जिस जॉब के लिए आप अप्लाई कर रहे हैं उसके रिलेटेड अगर आपने कुछ adaptation if you have done, then it really helps to be the best answer, right? Don't worry, in the PDF file you'll get the best answer example. So the many of the answers I've already given. कुछ ऐसे आंसर्स हैं जो कि मैंने छोड़ दिया जानबूझ के, सो दैट यू गेट द पीडीएफ. Now, have you ever were you assigned a task outside of your job description? How did you handle that situation? Right? Just give me 1 second. Uh, just give me 1 second, people. Okay, लगता है कुछ लोग ऑनलाइन, there are some people who have come online. I want to see who has said. I can't see. Hmm. I am looking at Shrestha. I'm looking at Gitanjali. I don't see any other chat. Hi there. If you've come, then drop a hi here. Okay. So going ahead with our segment number 2, which is adaptation. Were you ever assigned a task outside of your job profile? How did you handle this situation? Okay, so this clearly shows your willingness to change, which is extremely important for a recruiter to know. ओके, सो एक एग्जाम्पल अगर देखें तो मान लीजिए कि यू आर इन अ कॉलिंग प्रोसेस एंड यू ऑलवेज वंडर्ड दैट हाउ दैट क्वालिटी गाय ऑडिट्स योर कॉल्स, राइट? आप कॉल ले रहे हैं लेकिन कोई और आपका क्वालिटी ऑफ कॉल चेक कर रहा है. सो यू आर ऑलवेज क्यूरियस टू अंडरस्टैंड कि वो क्या करते हैं, राइट, कैसे करते हैं, राइट. सो यू कैन गिव एन एग्जांपल ऑफ कि आपने उनके पास, आप यू वेंट देयर, you spoke with him, you tried to understand, right? It was going out of your comfort zone. What is your comfort zone? Only one thing, that is that your boss has told you. But if you're taking an initiative to step out of that comfort zone and doing something that the recruiter wants to see through your answer, right? You can always say that you were apprehensive mean मतलब थोड़ा सा डाउटफुल थे, थोड़ा सा नेगेटिव थे कि कर पाएंगे, नया काम कर पाएंगे जो दिया गया है, या तो जो कंफर्ट जोन के बाहर है. बट you accepted that challenge, and quitting was not an option, so you had to adapt. So you stood up for the challenge and called for help from someone, and who knew, who has done that work before, right? And you took help from that person and you were able to adapt. So इसके ऊपर आप आंसर दे सकते हैं, right? And always remember, if you talk about people helping you or you helping people, it is always a very good sign. It tells a lot about your personality, your humbleness. So talk freely about it. You don't have to show macho-ness, or you don't have to say that, okay, I don't take any help, I'm good enough, yeah, I'm the best. ऐसा नहीं होता है. This is overconfidence, and we have to stay away from that kind of an attitude. All right. So moving ahead, number seven, question number seven from segment number two. Have you ever adjusted to a colleague's working style, colleague, co-worker, in order to complete a project, right? So यहाँ पे काफी लोग मैंने देखे हैं कि they start talking negative about colleagues and co-workers, या तो वो companies. Don't do that. Step away from any negative or bad mouthing is a serious disqualifier in in interviews. So एक example अगर दिया जाए, what can be the best answer of that? Well, I can hardly think of a time where I had to adjust for a colleague's working style, since the organization took really good care of our team delegations and allocations. However, there were times when I had to smartly deal with my colleagues to get my project objectives completed due to interdependence work. And by smartly, I mean to be extra polite and humorous to request them to help me out with deliverables, and also socializing with them a bit more, so that the personal touch compels them to help me out, right? So complicated answer है, but if you can understand the concept behind it, basically question, आप ये बोल रहे हैं कि हाँ, ऐसा सिचुएशन आया था, लेकिन मैंने जिस कोलीग के साथ मुझे काम करना था, प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट करना था, मैं उसके साथ एक अच्छा रैपो बनाया. I was able to communicate, I was able to have a good rapport with him or her, and I was able to do the task. ठीक है, तो ये आपको दर्शाना है adaptation. Moving on to the third segment. Remember 8 segments, so we are reaching the third segment, work culture. What kind of work culture that you prefer? Tell me the 3 things which are most important to your job, right? So there are many things that you can say. What are the 3 most important things that you're looking for in a job? But some of the, if you can use any of the sentences, like if अगर आपके sentence में you can use these qualities. Okay, क्या क्या qualities हैं? जैसे कि good leadership and mentoring. ये आप क्या बोल रहे हैं? You're talking about the quality that you want to see in your job, or the most important factors that will decide whether your job is good enough for you or not, right? The 3 most important. तो क्या आप बात कर रहे हैं? You are talking about good leadership and mentoring. I want good leadership and mentoring. I want to see that in my job. New skills, learning new skills and opportunities for self development. उनका learning and development team बहुत अच्छा होना चाहिए. Employee engagement activities such as social impact workshops, hackathons. If you are a programmer coder, you know what is a hackathon, right? So some kind of activity based program, some kind of challenge, hackathons. Meeting with industry experts, right? If the company is arranging some kind of knowledge sharing events, wherein some giant businessman or somebody, some banker is coming and talking to you and sharing his experience, then it's a very good learning, very good things. So employee engagement activities, adventure meetings can also be a part of that. Adventure meeting matlab you are going out for a picnic, but you are having a meeting about a project. So Google and Facebook and बहुत सारे ऐसे companies है who do that. Work life balance very important factor, like gymnasiums, yoga center, hangout areas, एक ऐसा environment जो कि आपको work और life को balance करने के लिए allow करता है. Ability to freely and fairly express my idea and concerns, very important to me, very close to my heart, right? So you should, I'm looking for, so the red ones which I've written, they are very close to my heart. uh, Fair appraisal systems and continual rewards and recognitions. भाई हम काम करने वाले हैं, अगर सामने वाला हमको recognize ना करे, reward ना दे timely, तो that can be very disheartening. तो मैं अच्छा है कि मैं अपने इंटरव्यू में बोल दूं कि fair appraisal systems, not good appraisal systems. You are no one to decide whether it is good or bad, but what you can say is fair. Unfair नहीं होना चाहिए भैया, fair होना चाहिए, right? Quality of work such as your clientele base, कहाँ कहाँ पे आपके clients है, कितने देशों में. Creative and smart technological adaptations, जैसे आप robotics को adapt कर रहे हैं, artificial intelligence को adapt कर रहे हैं, internet of things को adapt कर रहे हैं, electronic vehicles को adapt कर रहे हैं. So these are some of the emerging areas. So if my job, the job that I'm going to do is allowing me to to learn all this and giving me an opportunity, because they are doing that, right? So they are getting into that. So adaptation to technology is very very important factor. Last but not the least is good pay master, right? And it is fair to say that, right? Money is a very big motivator. You can freely say and very confidently say that yes, money is one of the factors, deciding factors, but always make sure कि money को आप last में बोलेंगे, right? Three things अगर बोला गया तो first two you can choose anyone, third should be, third you can say good pay master, right? So keep money part at the least so that you look humble and not greedy. Work culture adaptation, question number 9, right? What is the most interesting thing about you that's not in your resume, right? आपके बारे में कुछ ऐसा बोलिए जो कि सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग, जो कि आपके resume में नहीं है, right? It's a tricky question, trick question. आप सोच रहे होंगे कि ये तो पर्सनल क्वेश्चन हो गया, सो हाउ कम इट इज रिवीलिंग माय वर्क कल्चर. सो बेसिकली द रिक्रूटर आपके आंसर, इफ योर आंसर इज मोर बायस टुवर्ड्स सेल्फ, राइट? क्वेश्चन क्या पूछा गया है, टेल मी अबाउट सम इंटरेस्टिंग अबाउट यू, तो जनरली क्या होगा कि यू विल स्टार्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट योरसेल्फ, but you have to make sure that your answer is pretty balanced, not biased, okay? So, if your answer is too self oriented, then you prefer a work culture which is biased towards the employee and not a balanced one. So, क्या देना चाहिए? What can be an answer? One of the best answers, right? So, there are few things which I find interesting about me and how I cope up to situations, especially at workplace. So, you're no more talking about yourself. You are, but then you're relating it to the workplace. The most interesting thing, however, I can say is my ability to learn, observe, and apply. Sorry, वापस learn लिख दिया है, but apply. I strongly believe that learning starts with listening, and I consider myself a very good listener, especially when my subordinate colleagues or seniors talk about new or different ways of doing things. I listen to their ideas or suggestions and always ask myself, why not I try this one? Why not I try the new thing? And I find ways under the purview of the organization to work on those new ideas. So understand the concept. You're trying to tell them, you're trying to show कि one of the most important thing in your about you, which is not in your resume, is is you listening to people, their ideas, and trying to apply them the best way you can. That is the most interesting about you. All right, people. I hope you're having a good time and you're getting good answers. uh, if you're a recruiter, I'm pretty sure you're learning ways to ask various questions. So question number 10, why did you choose us? ये एक बहुत ही common question है. Why you want to join us, right? Why did you choose this company? There are so many companies that you could have chosen. why did you choose us? So इसके आंसर हम कैसे देंगे? Now to answer this question, you should have done research, not just Google search. See, I always say there's a difference between search and research, right? थोड़ा अंदर घुसना पड़ता है. You have to do more research. किसके बारे में research? CXOs, for example, CEO, CFO, CTO, वो company क्या है? Like what is the, you should know the entire kundali of the company. So what are the clientele, what are the, where are the clienteles, what are the footprints, क्या क्या business कर रहे हैं, what are the mergers, acquisition, stock performance, ये सारे चीज before you get into the interview you should be very aware about the organization and especially very clear about the job role. So जल्दी जल्दी में हड़बड़, haste is waste, जल्दी जल्दी में हमको अप्लाई नहीं करना है और वहां पे जाके ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर हम नहीं दे पाएंगे. The answer should be very convincing, उसके लिए आपको research करना पड़ेगा. So one of the answers that you can give, I mean you can use these phrases to construct your answers, right? I'm truly inspired. Why should we hire you? Because, sorry, why did you choose us? Because I was truly inspired by the CEO of this organization and his or the company's journey all the way from struggling days to the top. So I'm truly inspired by that and it inspires me to join you. After reading about your adaptations to new technologies, I believe it will be a perfect place to learn and take my skills to a higher level. Take my skills to a higher level. Right? So that's a very convincing sentence. I have read the reviews of your clients and it is very visible how satisfied they are. So, customer satisfaction is of prime importance in your organization, and that actually has impressed me a lot and intrigues me a lot. It allows me to, join your company and get interested in your company because you are so much looking at customer satisfaction and quality, right? You have fantastic employee satisfaction scores, great work culture. There's a balance of work and life that you're providing, and that's why I want to choose you. I want to join you, and it will be an honor to work with you. So these are the black, again, the bold black fonts which are written. They are some of the phrases that you can use to construct your answer. तो आप कीजिए इसको construct, and if you think that I should be giving you feedback, send that video to me, tpgbbsr@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to review it and send it to you as soon as possible, right? वर्क कल्चर में नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आता है, व्हाट इज द, ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट इज द बिगेस्ट मिसकंसेप्शन अबाउट यू दैट योर कोवर्कर्स हैव, राइट? तो आपका अगर कोवर्क, यहाँ पे कोवर्कर्स को रिप्लेस करके मैं फ्रेंड भी बोल सकता हूँ अगर आप फ्रेशर है, प्रोफेसर भी बोल सकता हूँ, पेरेंट्स भी बोल सकता हूँ. इट्स अ ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन दैट व्हाट पीपल थिंक अबाउट यू. टेल मी दैट, डू यू नो अबाउट दैट, आर यू अवेयर ऑफ दैट? So why is this important? You may, it is important for, as a recruiter I would come to know कि ये जो बंदा है, this person, is he open to feedback? बोल तो रहा है कि he is open to feedback, but does he allow a work culture where people can give feedback to him? So people may have misconception, but is he taking it as a feedback, right? So if you can say that I don't think that they ever had any misconception about me, since I was fairly open about my methods of working and always maintain professional communication at all times. So this is a negative, like you're saying that I don't think anybody had a misconception, but उसको बोलने का एक तरीका है. नो बोलने का भी एक तरीका होता है. डायरेक्टली इंटरव्यू में नो से सेंटेंस आपको स्टार्ट नहीं करना है. Remember this. This is known as the yes frame of mindset. We will talk more about that as you start watching my and following me. Start watching my YouTube live sessions. You'll come to know many things. Yes frame of mindset kya hai, right? We'll talk about that later. The best answer can be, as far as my memory goes, I cannot think of anything that my co-workers misconstrued. Misconstrued मतलब खुद से कुछ construct कर लिया about me or had a misconception about. I have had times though when I was misunderstood as someone pretty strict and serious about completing my work on time. However, soon we came to a truce. Truce matlab agreement. To a truce that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I started managing my work accordingly to be able to frequently socialize with my colleagues. Right? So बहुत ही balanced answer है. जिसमें आप बता रहे हो कि पीपल हैव मिसअंडरस्टूड मी एज अ वेरी हार्ड वर्किंग एंड स्ट्रिक्ट गाय, लेकिन धीरे धीरे मैं सोशलाइज करना भी स्टार्ट कर लिया. फैंटास्टिक वे ऑफ बैलेंसिंग things, right? So work culture. Now we move on to the next segment, people. Collaboration, right? How do you collaborate with others? It's a direct test of your emotional intelligence. जैसे ये question है, have you ever encountered a difficult person at work? Tell me about that, right? Again, be careful not to use too much negative words. Just say, people love complaining, right? uh, Everywhere around the world, because it is very easy to throw stones at someone. That's the easiest thing that you can do, right? So people love this. This is like the time pass of this is the hobby of people. They love talking negative about others. But in an interview, you have to be very careful not to use negative and bad words about anyone. Don't start complaining. Don't be so dramatic. So what should we do, right? So the best answer is, there were plenty of situations during my initial days of career where I could not handle tough nuts. अभी tough nut क्या होता है? ऐसे लोग जो जल्दी बहुत rigid होते हैं, flexible नहीं होते हैं. Soon I realized that by being rigid, nothing productive comes out. I cannot recall of any particular situation, but all I can say is that it did not take much time for me to realize that I had to be flexible. I realized that communication is about achieving a common goal, and it involves a lot of patience, humbleness, and softness as well. Therefore, I learned to be assertive instead of being aggressive or passive, and I adjusted my tone, my way of saying things accordingly. If I noticed anybody, difficult, or I noticed that it was difficult to talk with a person, I adjusted. I did not force the other person to adjust, but I adjusted according to his anger or his mood. So, very balanced answer. It's a direct test of your emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? A person who is able to balance his emotional feelings with his intelligence to do the job, to get the job done. Very important factor these days, right? So, ever encountered a difficult person? Next, collaboration. ओके, यू डिड एवरीथिंग पॉसिबल बट ही वाज स्टिल नॉट रेडी. तो आप कैसे हैंडल करोगे? आपने अपना टोन को एडजस्ट कर लिया, आपने बहुत सारा बिहेवियरल चेंज कर दिया, बट फिर भी द पर्सन वाज नॉट रेडी. तो क्या करें उसके बाद? हाउ टू आंसर दिस? तो स्ट्रेट अवे आई विल कम टू द आंसर, बिकॉज इट इज स्लाइटली कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. If I'm completely exhausted of my options to amicably solve the situation, amicably मतलब अच्छे तरीके से, शांत तरीके से, बिना झगड़ा किए. So if I exhausted all my options to amicably solve the situation, then I will have no other option but to escalate the situation to my seniors. However, before escalating, I would at least once इन्फॉर्म द कोवर्कर जिसके साथ मेरा पंगा चल रहा है, उसको एक बार मैं अच्छे से बताऊंगा कि इन्फॉर्म करूंगा कि भाई मैं अभी एस्केलेट करने के लिए मजबूर हो रहा हूँ. इंस्टेड ऑफ ड्रॉपिंग एन ईमेल टू माई सीनियर, आप डेफिनेटली आपके सीनियर को एस्केलेट कर सकते हैं सिचुएशन को, क्योंकि वो बंदा सुन ही नहीं रहा है आपके बात, आपको बहुत डिफिकल्टी हो रहा है. बट इंस्टेड ऑफ जस्ट ड्रॉपिंग एन ईमेल एंड मेकिंग कंप्लीटली ऑफिशियल, व्हाट यू कैन डू is that instead of dropping an email to my senior at first go, I would try to resolve it via a less restricted mean, such as a casual meeting in a cafeteria over tea or coffee, where he can perhaps call my coworker to understand the situation and suggest accordingly. So it's a very good way of showing your maturity कि स्ट्रेट अवे एस्केलेट कर देना, स्ट्रेट अवे रिएक्ट करने से अच्छा है कि थोड़ा स्टेप बैक करके थोड़ा चीजों को एमिकेबली हम लें, राइट? सो दैट शोज अ लॉट अबाउट योर कोलैबोरेटिव मेंटालिटी कि आप एकदम स्ट्राइकिंग पोर्ट पे, एकदम एकदम अटैकिंग मोड पे नहीं आते हो, आप थोड़ा बैलेंस करके चलते हो, विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर कोलैबोरेशन. नेक्स्ट अप, What if your immediate boss was too hard to work with or is going to be hard? जैसे आप फ्रेशर हो तो मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि अच्छा आपका बॉस आपको बहुत गंदा टाइम देने वाला है तो आप क्या करोगे? What will you do? And सारे co-workers, all the co-workers are thinking the same way. What will you do about it? So the recruiter wants to check basically that are you one of those writing types, क्योंकि जानबूझ के उसने बोला कि सारे co-workers भी वही सोच रहे हैं what you are thinking, that your boss is not good to work with. So what should be your answer, right? He's checking are you the writing types, आप लोगों को इकट्ठा करके मैनेजमेंट के अगेंस्ट अटैक करने वाले हैं क्या, राइट? तो ये आपको दिखाना है, राइट? तो बेस्ट आंसर ये आपको नहीं दिखाना है, सॉरी। तो बेस्ट आंसर क्या होगा? Well, I will first try to know his point of view. Whose point of view? The manager's. Maybe he is in that state of mind because of something which I or my co-workers have been doing incorrectly but are not aware of it. The only way to find out is to take his permission to speak freely with him instead of simply escalating it to the next level, like HR or senior leadership, right? So instead of doing that straight away, I would like to meet with him and talk freely with him with his due permission. I'm pretty sure that he will find some time, maybe after a few persuasions. पहली बार मना कर सकता है, दूसरी बार मना कर सकता है, कितनी बार मना करेगा? So after a few persuasions, he will allow me to speak with him freely and attend to my concern. While discussing this matter with him or her, I will have to take care. I will have to take care. ये बहुत important है. I'll have to take care though that I speak about myself and my thoughts and not about the general mood of the public or general mood of the co-worker, right? So I don't represent everyone, right? I am representing my thoughts. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आप ऐसे हो, मैं ये कतई नहीं बोलने वाला हूँ कि सबको लगता है कि आप ऐसे हो, आप ऐसे क्यों? This is not the way to answer, right? So collaborative means you will talk about your mood, right? Your stuff, okay? So going ahead with collaboration, probably this is the last question in collaboration and the 50% of our question set. Communicating with someone and you have been communicating with someone but they do not understand you. Communicating मतलब आप verbal communicate कर रहे हो, email पे कर रहे हो, chat पे कर रहे हो, various ways of communication कर रहे हो, फिर भी सामने वाला आपको समझ ही नहीं पा रहा है, आपने कैसे उसको handle किया? What did you do? तो एक चीज तो आपको समझना पड़ेगा, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स अबाउट कम्युनिकेशन, बट आज आपको मैं कम्युनिकेशन के बारे में एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज बोल देता हूँ। कम्युनिकेशन में यू नो बहुत सारे बैरियर्स होते हैं। कभी भी आप किसी को सुनते हैं, किसी को पढ़ते हैं, चाहे वो सोशल मीडिया पोस्ट हो, और ये आजकल बहुत हो रहा है, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपके तीन बैरियर काम में आ जाते हैं। वन इज फिजिकल, सेकंड इज सोशल एंड थर्ड इज इमोशनल। फिजिकल मतलब मे बी यू हैव अ पेन एंड यू आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, यू आर इन अ बैड मूड, फिजिकल पेन। सेकंड इज सोशल, सोशल मींस आपका आपका जो अपब्रिंगिंग है, योर अपब्रिंगिंग इज सच दैट इट मेक्स यू जजमेंटल, कि वो ऐसा पहन रहा है तो वो ऐसा ही होगा, वो ऐसा दिख रहा है तो ही इज लाइक दैट, तो वो यहाँ से ये जगह से आया मतलब ही इज ऑफ दैट काइंड। तो ये क्या होता है, ये सोशल एंड जजमेंटल एक हो जाता है, जो आपके अपब्रिंगिंग, सोसाइटी आपको मजबूर कर देती है उस तरह सोचने के बारे में, स्टीरियोटाइप करने में। तो और तीसरा बैरियर जो होता है कम्युनिकेशन, दैट इज इमोशनल बैरियर, राइट? You might be going through a bad emotion or bad phase of life, or maybe you're too excited and accordingly you will take communication. So there are barriers, so you have to understand that, right? Here the recruiter wants to know that whether you have the simple टेक्निक ऑफ एम्पथी, राइट? एम्पथी, सिंपथी, एपथी, तीन चीज होते हैं। तो एम्पथी क्या होता है कि आप सबको साथ में लेके चलते हैं, आप खाली ऐसा बाहर बाहर से सिंपथी नहीं दिखा रहे हो, और आप डोंट केयर भी नहीं कर रहे हो कि मुझे कोई परवाह नहीं पड़ता व्हाट डज ही फील और व्हाट डज शी फील, मैं तो ऐसा ही हूँ। तो दैट इज एम्पथी। तो आपको एम्पथाइज करना है, राइट? सो इट शोज अ लॉट अबाउट योर मैच्योरिटी एंड एक्सपीरियंस, राइट, ऑफ वर्किंग with various kind of people. Another test of your emotional intelligence. तो इसका एक बेस्ट आंसर क्या हो सकता है? Communication can break because of many reasons, such as emotional state of mind, social prejudices and judgments, and also because of certain physical pain that one may be having, for example, tiredness caused due to overworking. I accept the fact that these communication breakers are increasing at this highly competitive and fast-paced lifestyle, and I definitely have faced such situations. The only way I could ever bridge the gap was to be empathetic about the person I'm communicating with. I had to divulge to relaxations. Divulge मतलब पूरा relax हो जाना, divert relaxation की तरफ divert हो जाना. I had to divulge to relaxations softly and give some more time to the person, and it always worked, because I truly believe that communication works the best when the receiver is open and I am listening before speaking. It happens when you are not tensed, right? So आप बार बार communicate कर रहे हैं, communication break हो रहा है, चीज़ें आगे नहीं बढ़ रहे हैं, तो what to do? So what to do? Give some time, relax, and restart, right? Probably you will get success. Clear, people? Before moving on to, we have completed 50%, and before moving on to the next level, allow me a small 2 minutes break, a water break. So I'll be back in 2 minutes, people. Thank you so much for your patience. Hello, people. Back to the basics. I don't know why am I not able to see the. Oh, okay. So many people have said hi. Well, hello, Sabita. Hello, Kavita. Hey, Akash. Akash. Um, Anushka. Anushka Sisti. Hello, Anushka. Thank you for coming online. Okay, so I know things may be slightly boring, but good things take time to learn, right? So I'm trying to make it as interesting as possible. तो थोड़ा बोरिंग लग सकता है, इसीलिए मैंने बोला कि आप चैट कीजिए, interact with me. If you have any questions, if you think that there are some questions that I should be answering, you chat, you let me know, and I will try my best to answer right now. ठीक है? uh, you will anyway be getting the PDF version of this session, right? So don't worry about it. Now we'll move ahead with leadership skill. Like, do you have the quality of a leader? Right? The first question. Have you ever pursued anyone to follow the right path? Okay, remember that leaders are very persuasive, right? Now, what is persuasive? Persuasive matlab you are not going to let go of things very easily. You're not a fool, you're trying your best, but you are not quitting easily. Basically, that is known as persuasion. तो आपने कभी ऐसा किया है? So you can speak genuinely about an incident that you have undergone and where you have pursued someone and achieved something. But always remember leadership questions and creative question, and there are some segments of these eight out of these eight segments where you should think a little bit before just jumping into the answer, right? अगर भी आपको आंसर फटक से करना है तो थोड़ा स्टेप बैक, थोड़ा रुक जाइए, right? Before jumping, it shows that you're thinking and saying, you're not just reacting. थोड़ा pause ले लीजिए बीच बीच में, okay? So what could be one of the best answer to it? So you can say that I feel very strongly about how people react negatively on roads. This is just one of the examples, right? कि आपने persuade किसी को किया था क्या? So you're very strong about, you feel very strongly about bad driving or road rages. So we all know that this is road rage. There was not a single day that passed by during my travels that I did not see anyone breaking the rules. For a very long time, I ignored these incidents, but always felt worried about the rising accident fatalities on Indian roads. Finally, I decided that I will do my bit by not by following all the traffic rules and strongly, but also do my best to record and report such incidents to the authorities. I downloaded an app which helps me to do that, to report to the authorities, and I persuaded my near and dear ones to respect and obey the traffic rules at all times. Right? So, this is like persuasion. You have persuaded people to follow traffic rules. So, this is one of the example of a leadership quality because they're very persuasive. Remember? Next, uh, what is the toughest decision that you have ever taken in your life? Right? So, why do they ask you? Leaders stand up to the problem and don't run away. Remember that, right? So, if you have taken a tough decision in your life, then you should talk about it. Um, if you have actually taken a tough decision in your life, then please speak honestly about it. It is okay to talk about your fear. It's absolutely all right. डर सभी को लगता है, राइट? सो ऐसा कोई है ही नहीं जिसको डर नहीं लगता. इफ यू आर ट्राइंग टू शो that you never have fear, then there is something wrong with you severely, right? So it is all right to talk about your fear, but it is also important that you do talk about how did you handle that fear, right? Again, take a pause before answering this question. So what could be one of the best answers to that? I carry a huge gratification for my family. Gratification matlab izzat, right? Lot of respect and pyar. I carry huge gratification for my family back home and my native place. Always wanted to give back to them, but it felt impossible for a long time since I ventured out for better jobs and lifestyles. It was not so long before I realized that no matter how much I grow in my career, unless I give back whatever the best way I can, I will not feel fulfilled. Therefore, I started volunteering for an NGO opened by one of my friend at my hometown. On Sundays, I take online tuitions on English and maths for the underprivileged kids. I had to sacrifice a bit of my fun time over weekends, but it was a decision worth taking, and I feel absolutely happy whenever I see those kids online. So, this was a tough decision that you took to break up your weekend habit, sacrifice your weekend lifestyle, and contribute it to give back to the society. Tells a lot about your leadership qualities. When was the last time you led someone by example? Leaders are called leaders because they lead others, because they lead others through examples. So even if you are a fresher, right, and you are yet to, or you are yet to reach a leadership position in your current job, you can always cite an example from your life in general. For example, from sports or events or social activities. Sorry about the spelling of site. It should be CITE. Sorry about the wrong misspelling, misspelled word. So CITE, site, cite an example, right? For example, for from sports or events or social activities, if you have led a team, if you have gone to a sports event where you have played a major role, if you are a volunteer in an event, in a cultural event or school or college event, do talk about that. Okay, कि कैसे आपने उसको execute किया था. So one of the best answers I've already provided here. During my tenure in last organization, ये एक experience लोग के लिए ज़्यादा suitable होगा. During my tenure in last organization, there were several incidents when co-workers uh, I knew felt stressed due to work-life imbalance. I had undergone the same stress during my initial days of the job and took help of my mother's advice, who guided me to seek shelter by doing activities which divert my mind for a good cause like health or to help others. I tried spending some time helping the elderly at old age homes, and it worked like wonders because my mother said that if you feel stressed, then try to spend your time somewhere outside doing something good for others. You will feel less stress. So whenever I felt stressed, I would think of those faces, those lovely souls at the old age home, and I could not wait to see them after finishing my work. So I shared this experience with my other co-workers, and they always felt stressed. But when they started going with me, it worked like wonders for them as well. I'm happy to say that we are a team of 6 people now. We meet every weekend at the old age home, and I believe my ex co-workers have much more smiles per day than the previous days. Smiles per day, right? Miles per hour ऐसा कुछ तो था. Miles per liter, हाँ TVS का ad था. So smiles per day. So now they have more smiles per day because I led them by giving an example that you can spend time with old age people or helping others to reduce your stress at work, right? This is a very good example. Did you ever sell an idea to anyone? Leaders can be very convincing, right? They are leaders because they can convince others. They can sell, right? Selling is one of the biggest quality that a leader can have. Now, if you experience, then again, I'm sorry about the misspelling of site, CITE. So, if you experience, then cite examples from workplace about a project where you suggested different ways of doing things. So, you're selling an idea. So, you've done a project, you did something different. But when you're talking about that, have some data with you, like tell about some numbers, some figures, so that that can back up your answer. One of the best answers can be this will be more suitable for you know in general for experienced or freshers. Well, certainly there were instances in my life where I had to convince others to do something the right way. One of my friend took the path of entrepreneurship by stating his by sorry not stating by starting his own enterprise on a motorcycle mechanic finder app. Since the idea was absolutely new in the local market he launched it, he was absolutely sure that people are going to love it and they will use it leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds matlab काफी ज़्यादा. However, even after 6 months of marketing, he could not get the desired number of users for that app that he had launched. When we discussed about this, I spent some time understanding what was the need of the customers, and I found out that because there was a rating feature of the mechanic was missing, so the customers lost the trust to use that app or call for a mechanic whenever their bike or motorcycle was in trouble. So I suggested to add that feature in the app by giving ratings to mechanics, and it worked. And last I checked with him, he started to see more number of users downloading his app, right? So very convincing way of how you sold an idea to anyone. It is an example. You can take other examples if from your real life, and it can be very convincing. It shows leadership quality, your convincing skills, right? Question number 20. I know you're very bored, but we have 10 more questions to go. uh, Growth potential, right? Shrestha, I have Shrestha here. She is one of my employees and she is dozing off, but she cannot doze off because she's my employee. I'm the boss. All right, no problem, Shrestha. You can take a break if you want. I'm just kidding. All right. So you had so growth potential. Now growth potential is a very important factor, and we have about 5 questions from this segment. So what is growth potential? The recruiter wants to know that the hiring is long term. Like this person is ready to has clarity about growth and is ready to work for a long term with me, with my organization, right? Nobody wants to keep hiring. It costs a lot to an organization, right? So first question, you had no one to help you for a problem. How did you manage it? So if anyone has the ability to evolve, they have a strong potential to grow, right? So we are checking growth potential. If you can evolve, if you can change, if you can adapt, then you definitely have the potential to grow. So you may cite, again, misspelling of cite, CITE. You may cite a real life incident. If experienced, try your best to relate to the job role. One of the best answer is yes. I have had couple of such incidents. One of them, which I can very well remember, was the time when my manager had to rush out for a family emergency and there was a client call going on. So the client had some tough questions about the project because we had missed some deadlines. The team leader was also absent. Now, I was not a team leader. You're not going to say that you are a team leader. So I was not a team leader. My team leader was not present, and my manager had to, go out in between a client call. So suddenly, I was the only person who stood up, and I was asked to give answers to the client. To be honest, I was pretty startled. Startled, matlab thoda घबरा जाना. I was pretty startled for a moment when the client took my name and asked those questions on the call. I managed my anxiety somehow, and I followed very simple lessons that I had learned from my previous calls, such as instead of saying I did this, I did that, always use we did it, we did that. And whenever in doubt, I took the permission from the client on the call to allow me to some time so that I can investigate and get back with the proper data and proper reasoning. So I use these simple techniques because my seniors were not there. I was not the right person who could answer those questions. So the only thing that I followed is that I took care of simple words and just said that I will get back to you. Just allow me some time. So these simple tricks work like wonders, and I was hugely appreciated because of my confidence. Right? So this was the last time you had a problem where no one there to help you, but you helped yourself through your self development. Right? Shows a lot about your growth. Why you want to leave your current job? Very common question, right, people? Just hold on a second. Let me quickly check if there are some chats. Hang on. Uh, oh, we have Nilangshu sir. He's a known personnel. Uh, Dishani Jena. Hello, Dishani. Thank you for coming here. Okay, so who else is there? All right, very less chats. I don't know, people are not participating, they're not asking questions. I was here to answer your questions as well, right? Okay, no problem. I can understand. Sunday mood. How are you doing, Shrestha? Okay, that's good to know. At least you're fine. Okay, why you want to leave your job, right? Why you want to leave your job and join us, right? What could be the best answer? Now remember that don't talk negative about your previous job. If you are talking negative about the previous job, there is a very good chance that when you leave this job for which you are applying, you will also talk negative about that job. So it reflects very negatively about your the way you handle things. It shows a lot about your maturity or immaturity, right? And I have heard this a lot of time that due to my personal reasons I left. Due to personal reasons, right? So whatever, if you cannot answer, just say personal reasons. Don't do that. Do not use avoid using personal reasons unless you actually had a very good reason, and chances are that the recruiter will ask you what was your personal reason. If you don't mind, please explain, please let me know, right? So if you had a very good reason, then you can say personal reason. Otherwise, please do not repeat the standard answer, I had a personal reason, right? So, if your pay scale was the reason, then be subtle about it, right? For many reasons, people leave. I mean, out of many reasons, pay scale is one of the biggest reasons, right? So instead of just saying because I was getting a less salary, because I wanted to have a good salary, so I'm leaving this job, the last job. Don't say that. Don't be so straight about that, right? So you can say, you can slightly change it. You can say that I loved my job and the people out there. However, the increments were not satisfactory to the market standards, and because of that you loved your job, you loved the people, right? The art of elevation. So you always loved them, but or however there was something else. So however the increments were not up to the job market standards, right? You're not going to say the increments were not good, you're going to say they were not satisfactory to market standards. Very important to use correct words at the correct time, right? Communication skills, all right? Sentence construction, very important factor. Choose your words wisely. So what can be another good answer? I really like. So what are we talking about? Why are you leaving your job, right? So you can say that I really liked my previous organization and also their work culture. However, my inclination towards creativity and constant learning leaped my mindset to look for more intriguing roles, which I tried my best to apply for internally. However, I did not get any for many months. That means you increased your skill set, but there were no jobs in your current organization to match your skill level. So that's when I decided that it's time to call it quits. In fact, I had an open discussion regarding this with my seniors before leaving. They were slightly uncomfortable to let me go because I was a decent performer. Don't say I was the best performer or very good performer. Say I was a decent performer. They were slightly uncomfortable to let me go, but they did realize that the organization did not have any vacancies coming up or at that particular time when I was asking for them, really asking for them. So that could be one of the reasons that you increased your intelligence, you increased your skill level, you upskilled yourself, you tried your best to find a job in the same organization to match your skill level, but there was a mismatch and you had no other option but to move on, right? So this was the answer, one of the best answers to why do you. Oh, salary expectation. Right, I think this is one question that everyone was waiting for, right? Money is the biggest motivator, right? Money is honey. Money is the great motivator, but if that is the only thing that is driving you, then there is something problem. There is some problem, right? You're very greedy, right? So there is no doubt that money is important. Absolutely no doubt. Okay, money is important. It's a fantastic motivator for everyone, for all the employees, for all the bosses, for everyone. But You should be careful about how you're answering this. So there is no particular way. I cannot give you a figure because obviously it varies. And also, do not use the standard answer of 30% hike. So your current salary is X, and so you want X into 0.30, so that is your new figure. No, you don't want to say that. That is not the norm which is going on right now. So please avoid answering I need 30% hike, right? Don't do that. All right. So what can you do is that you need to find out that what is the range of salary that you what is the range of salary that you get for that job role. And how you want to do that, you can take online and offline modes to understand what is the best salary offered for that job role. Offline mode means friends, relatives, co-workers, sorry, networkers you can find in LinkedIn. And online means you can go to job buzz. These are some of the sites where you need to do some research that what is the salary that people are getting for this role, right? You can get that figure. So you can go to job buzz from times jobs, you can go to Indeed, you can go to LinkedIn, you can ask these questions in Quora, and you can go to Glassdoor reviews. Now these are some of the websites. I don't know if you know them, but if you don't know them, get on them, people. It is really going to help you to understand that what is the best salary for that kind of a job role, right? And then you should construct your answer according to that. It will also help you to back up your answer. For example, you're saying that okay, I need maybe this much lakhs per annum, and the person asks you, the recruiter asks you, why so? Why do you think so? Your last salary was way less than this. Why do you think we should give you that kind of salary? Now you can answer that if you've done your research. You can say that, sir, I have done my research and I know that in a tier 2 city like Bhubaneswar or Bhopal, this is the salary, or Pune, this is the salary that we are getting. Most of the people are getting. So this is the range that people are getting. I'm just choosing a middle level of the salary, right? Have some data before you answer this question. However, remember, sometimes salary is not the only thing, because you also should look at, you can trade off the best salary with the best perks. For example, like the company may be providing you insurance schemes, work from home, probably they're providing you transport facilities which you were not getting in last company. There can be a work life balance, like work from home kind of a thing which is allowed to you, right? You might also be getting a job role which you always wanted to work in and you never got an opportunity previously. That can also be a trade off for your best salary. So salary, sometimes you have to make a tough choice, that before you answer this question, you really want to be very careful that okay, I may be asking about the max salary from this organization, but is it fair enough to ask that? Because maybe they're giving me the best employee insurance scheme, maybe they're giving me medical benefits, they're giving me transportation, they're giving a fantastic work culture, they're giving me a fantastic technology which I always want to work in, right? But there's so many things to consider before you can just increase the salary level. Don't do that. It creates a bad impression, right? So think of many other factors. Be matured to decide what should be the salary level. All right, so main thing here is that do your research online and offline, take some feedback. What should be the salary for this kind of a job role? Do that. So that is the salary expectation. Another very common question, 3 years down the line, where do you want to see yourself? Right? Very, very common question, very tricky question, right? It basically reflects that you have a clear goal. Now, many people say, मुझे manager बनना है. 3 years down the line, मैं team leader बन जाऊंगा, मैं manager बन जाऊंगा. But it's not that easy and straight, right? There are many things that come into the picture, and you are being overconfident straight away. So don't say that आई वांट टू बी अ मैनेजर और टीम लीडर, डायरेक्टली आपको ये नहीं बोलना है, आप इनडायरेक्टली इसको बोल सकते हैं। कैसे बोलना है? सो इट्स अ टेस्ट टू चेक वेदर यू हैव अ क्लियर पिक्चर ऑफ योर ग्रोथ, कि आप ऐसे ही फेंक रहे हो कि हाँ मुझे मुझे तो मैनेजर ही बनना है, 3 साल में तो मैं मैनेजर बन ही जाऊंगा, विच इज इम्पॉसिबल most of the time. Your answer should clearly match with your previous answers such as strength and weakness. So अगर आप 3 साल में किधर पहुंचना चाहते हो, ये अगर कोई आपको पूछ रहा है, tally it with whatever strength and weakness that you must have answered, right? Some of the strengths should include कि ये 3 साल में मैं अपने strengths use करके मैं यहाँ पे पहुंचूंगा, and in the next 3 years I will overcome my fears, overcome my weaknesses. तो ऐसा कुछ एक आंसर आप दे सकते हो, right? So your answer, remember, this answer must reflect how you're eager to learn, how you're eager to adapt, and how are you eager to apply, right? So one of the best example is, I want to see myself excellently equipped with the essentials, such as 3 years down the line I want to see myself essentially or excellently equipped, such as in-depth, what I want to be equipped with, I want to get equipped with in-depth understanding of end-to-end process of how the project works. I want to get a very good idea of how the project works. I want to know that how we can meet customer expectation in a better way. I want to be able to handle my stress, maintain a work-life balance, and tackle my deadlines easily. I want to have leadership skills such as how to work collaboratively with my co-workers. So once I achieve or get equipped with all this knowledge, definitely I think then I will be ready so that I will feel confident to take up those roles when you aptly ask me to. जब आप लोग डिसाइड कर देंगे 3 साल के बाद कि मुझे एक मैनेजर होना चाहिए या टीम लीडर होना चाहिए, जब आप लोग डिसाइड कर रहे होंगे, तो मेरे पास उतना नॉलेज हो जाना चाहिए, दैट्स ऑल आई वांट। आपको ये बोलना है, प्लीज डोंट रिपीट कि मैं मैनेजर बनना चाहता हूँ स्ट्रेट अवे, राइट? दैट्स नॉट द करेक्ट आंसर, राइट? नेक्स्ट, हाउ डू यू फिगर आउट अ रीजनेबल टाइम फॉर अ टास्क? आपको एक टास्क दिया गया है, उसका कितना टाइम लगेगा वो कंप्लीट करने के लिए, हाउ डू यू फिगर दैट आउट, right? A person with potential to grow knows how to manage the time. Once again, a person with the potential to grow, क्या हम चेक कर रहे हैं? This is the sixth segment. The potential to grow, if you have it, then you know how to manage your time. Without that, it is impossible to grow in life or in career, wherever. You have to manage your time properly. So this is a question to check that, right? You need to have some basic knowledge about time management concepts and how do you plan projects, right? So you can also use your intelligence and common sense to give the best answer. So one of the best answer is that I believe time, क्या हम बात कर रहे हैं, how do you figure out a time to complete a task? वो टाइम कितना लगना चाहिए, वो कैसे डिसाइड करते हो? So I believe that time is the most expensive thing in the world. It is understandable that if we leave a task open ended, it will take forever for it to complete. So to figure out a reasonable time to complete a task, we have to understand the requirements of the client and his deadlines first, and then we can work backwards so that we understand, we can fix timelines for internal teams, executioners, and how much time it will take to execute, how much time it will take to gather the tools and techniques, make the materials ready to do the task. So first we have to know what is the deadline of our client, what the customer wants, when do we want the product to be launched, and then from there we can work backwards and arrange our time. So this is one of the very standard way of how do you figure out the time to complete a task. You can always say at the end that brainstorming means सबको इकट्ठा बैठ के, सारे वर्कर्स, co-workers, लीडर्स बैठ के अगर हम डिसाइड करेंगे that how can we use different technology or methods, एक बार आपका टाइम डिसाइड हो गया, can we still reduce the time, can we use new technologies to reduce that time? So that is, you should say at the end that brainstorming help us to optimize uh, the time that will be taken for a task. All right, so growth potential, उसमें time management. Now we move on to the penultimate segment, which is creativity. Before I go there, let me quickly check the chat. Oh, uh, I don't see any chat updates. Do we have others coming on? Okay. All right. So we have exceeded the time. I think 11:30. Okay. We have 5 more questions to go. So we'll complete this. Creativity. So only 2 questions from creativity. Why should not I hire you? Wow, that is one question, man. Like, tell me why I should not hire you, right? So how to answer that? Very tricky question to use to check your intelligence and maturity. Do not cite examples of your weak. Finally, the spelling is correctly spelled. Do not cite examples of your weakness, right? आपको ये नहीं बोलना है कि well मेरा weakness ये है, मेरा weakness वो है, इसलिए आपको नहीं hire करना चाहिए. Don't be so apathetic about it. So be witty. Witty मतलब थोड़ा smart बन जाओ, right? But जब आप ये answer कर रहे हो, जब आप ये आंसर कर रहे हो, बी हम्बल अबाउट इट, राइट? थोड़ा अपना टोन को लो रखना है, सॉफ्ट रखना है while answering this. Why should not I hire you, right? So the best answer to this is, quite honestly speaking, sir or madam, it's too hard to think of a good reason for not hiring me when I know that I have the ability to learn, adapt, apply, and take feedback positively to improve continuously with an open frame of mindset. So I don't see any reason why you should, because I can do all this. However, However, the reason could be that you might have the option to choose someone who has lesser weakness than me, if not better strengths than me. राइट तो स्ट्रेंथ के मामले में तो भैया अपना टक्कर थोड़ा मुश्किल है, क्योंकि मैं तो बहुत कुछ कर सकता हूँ, ये मुझे भी मालूम है. लेकिन हाँ, ये हो सकता है कि किसी के पास मेरे से कम वीकनेसेस है, तो इसलिए आप उसको चूज करेंगे, राइट? सो इट्स वेरी विटी वे ऑफ आंसरिंग दैट व्हाई शुड नॉट आई हायर यू. फर्स्ट यू आर सेइंग आई डोंट थिंक, आई कैनॉट थिंक ऑफ एनी रीजन, बट फिर आप बोल रहे हो कि हाँ ऐसा हो सकता है, हो सकता है कि वीकनेस किसी का कम हो और मेरे थोड़े ज्यादा है, तो मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ दैट यू कैन हायर द अदर पर्सन, राइट? क्रिएटिविटी क्वेश्चन नंबर 2. How would your best friend describe you versus your boss? So how creative can you be? So it is a direct test of checking your maturity as well. Be careful not to jump the guns. Jump the guns matlab don't answer very excitingly just because you heard best friend, क्योंकि best friend बोलते ही हम हर किसी के दिमाग में एक एक चित्र आ जाता है अपने best friends का. So don't get too excited about it. So how can you wittily answer it? But before you answer, remember that your answer tallies with your strengths, right? Because we are talking about people's view on you, right? So talk about your strengths. uh, the best answer to this is, despite the fact that I have many close friends, my only best friend has always been my intellect. Intellect matlab, my intelligence is my best friend. Even though I'm careful about weighing matters before simply disclosing them to anyone and everyone, I have been a pretty open book at my work and my personal spaces. मतलब मैं चीज़ों को बोलने से पहले थोड़ा सा वे तो करता हूँ, लेकिन जनरली मैं ओपन बुक हूँ. सो आई बिलीव, एंड मेरा बेस्ट फ्रेंड कौन है? मैं ओपन बुक हूँ, और मेरा बेस्ट फ्रेंड कौन है? मेरा इंटेलेक्ट, मेरा खुद का इंटेलिजेंस. सो आई बिलीव माई मैनेजर विल डिस्क्राइब मी just the way you would describe me after this interview, and the way I always been and all my friends think. So it is all across the same description. Answer आपको समझ में आ गया होगा. I hope. If you did not, please ask me questions. The last 4 questions are personal questions. Now remember, if someone is asking you personal questions, generally they are asked the personal questions are asked towards the end of the interview. और study ये बताता है कि आपको अगर if someone the interviewer is asking you personal questions, there is a 63% probability that you will get hired. More than 50% chances आपके already हो चुके हैं कि you are going to get hired. So feel confident while answering this personal question. ज़्यादा भी छुपाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, थोड़ा खुश हो जाइए, smile कीजिए and answer. So when was the last time you had a major emotional breakdown and how did it impact your work? So a direct reflection of your emotional intelligence, right? So basically it's a test to check that how much your personal life is interfering with your professional life, कितना interference चल रहा है यहाँ पे, right? So you can be honest and you can use kiss. अभी kiss क्या है? Kiss is something that we all like. What is kiss? Kiss stands for keep it simple and short. What does KISS stand for? Keep it simple and short, right? तो आपका आंसर छोटा होना चाहिए. इमोशनल ब्रेकडाउन सुन के ज्यादा बड़बड़ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. So you can say KISS, keep it simple and short. तो एक एग्जांपल मैं आपको दे देता हूँ. It had happened couple of years ago when my beloved mother suddenly passed away. She had developed a heart ailment which could not be caught at time, and I blamed myself for a long time that I was away from her building my career at another city. So my mother had a heart problem and we could not catch it on time, and I was blaming myself that I'm in another city. It did affect my work. तो थोड़ा ऑनेस्ट भी आपको होना है. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता कि यू हैव अ इमोशनल ब्रेकडाउन एंड यू हैव एब्सोल्युटली जीरो इम्पैक्ट एट योर वर्क. इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. So don't try to be over smart and tell them that I'm completely not, I'm a monk और मेरा पर्सनल लाइफ अलग है, प्रोफेसर अलग अलग है, अलग रहना चाहिए. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, बट मैं बिल्कुल इम्पैक्ट नहीं होता. ऑल्सो विल बी थोड़ा सा स्लाइटली इनकरेक्ट, राइट? सो आपको क्या बोलना है कि yes, it did affect my work for 1 or 2 days, but I realized that doing what I do the best, that means your job, was the only way to divert my mind from the trauma. I had an emotional trauma and I wanted to divert my mind. अभी वो trauma में मैं हर दिन गुजारना नहीं चाहता. I was feeling awkward and it was affecting my work. It affected for 2-3 days, but after that I realized that I have to get out of that. And what was the way to get out of that? I had to focus more on my work. So the only way was to divert my mind, was to continue doing my job. And I was lucky enough to get good emotional support from my co-workers and seniors at work itself. तो मुझे मेरे दोस्तों से, मेरे co-workers से, मेरे boss से बहुत सारा मुझे help मिला. So that says a lot that how you have maintained rapport with everyone. Okay, so emotional breakdown हुआ था. How did you overcome from it? How did it impact? Next personal question. What are your plans for your family, your marriage, your higher studies, or maybe kids if you're newly married, right? ये क्यों पूछा जाता है? Irrespective of the gender, this is actually asked if you're unmarried or newly married. The recruiter basically wants to know कि ये जो आपका नया प्लान होने वाला है ना, जैसे you're going to get married, going to have kids, going for higher studies, right? All these things. So आप prepare करेंगे higher studies के लिए, competitive exam के लिए, all these things, whether it is going to really impact your job. So that's what the recruiter wants to know slightly more about, right? So you can be very open. पहली बात तो आपको honest होना है. आपको plan आपका बता देना है. There is nothing to worry about, right? You definitely can be open about your plan. If you're going to do higher studies, tell them confidently that you're going to do higher studies. If you're going to have kids, tell them that yes, we are planning for kids. Going to have a marriage, tell them that you have a marriage, right? But if you don't have any plans, you can say, well, nothing much for few years at least. You can simply answer. This is a no, but saying in a different way. No, I don't have any plans. Instead of saying that, you can say that, well, nothing much for few years. और ये few years को अगर आप एक number लगा दें, तो वो ज़्यादा सही होगा, right? Let's say I don't have any plans for at least next 3 years, next 2 years, next 1 year. It gives a perspective to the recruiter, helps the recruiter to have a clear picture that okay, ये बंदा at least 1 साल तक तो हिलने नहीं वाला है, right? It gives a good confidence. But अगर आपका सच में कुछ plan है, तो how to answer that? You have to answer in such a way that you have a balanced mindset of work and life, right? तो ये तो पर्सनल चीजें होंगे ना, तो यू हैव टू बैलेंस, योर आंसर शुड बैलेंस. तो क्या होगा, जैसे एक मैरिज है. सो ओ यस, आई एम हैप्पी टू टेल यू that marriage indeed is on the cards, and most likely in few months we will be deciding about the date as well. I'm glad that I've got someone who understands so much about my career plans and is so keen to support, not keen, and is so keen to support me on those lines. That means I've got a spouse, or I'm going to get into a spouse who understands my career plans. तो यहाँ पे आपने indirectly ये बोल दिया है कि बॉस शादी तो हो रही है, लेकिन मेरा जो 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 कपल है, जो जो मेरा सॉरी जो मेरा स्पाउस है, whether husband or wife, is very supportive about my career plans. तो आपने softly बोल दिया कि भाई आपको टेंशन नहीं होगा, मैरिज है लेकिन आपको कुछ टेंशन नहीं होगा, मेरे जॉब को कुछ इम्पैक्ट नहीं है आएगा. सो थैंक यू. इनफैक्ट यू कैन ऑल्सो से थैंक यू सो मच फॉर आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन, because it reminds me to ask you about the leave and work policies that the company has, if I may right now, राइट. तो ये आपको एक अपॉर्चुनिटी भी देता है कि यू कैन आस्क क्वेश्चंस अबाउट लीव पॉलिसीज एंड मैटरनिटी लीव, पैटर्निटी लीव, ऑल दोस थिंग्स, राइट. we can you can and work from home policies, so you can talk about that, the right moment to pitch. The penultimate question in segment 8, in your personal life, what do you really dislike in a person, right? जैसे ही ये सवाल पूछा जाएगा, because we all like to stones, we will quickly jump and answer all the negative things. Do not get excited. शांत गदादारी बीम रखना है. वी डोंट हैव टू यूज एनी नेगेटिविटी. थोड़ा सा अपने आप को कूल डाउन करना है. डोंट राइट जस्ट थ्रो स्टोन्स. Sound soft when even if you're talking about something negative. So what is the best answer? So this is one of the best answer. I believe in the concept of mindset leading to emotions, leading to actions, leading to results. If we just dislike the result or blame the actions of someone or even the behavior, I don't think it will be a true reflection of that person. I believe that that mindset or the programming of the mind is the most important thing in all of us. If we change that, then everything changes. My emotions will change, my actions will get better, and I will produce better results. So, what is the most important thing? The mindset. But if there is someone who is not ready to change the mindset, is not flexible, who doesn't have an open mind, then I think I will definitely dislike that person, because there is no room of improvement. The person is so rigid, that is so inflexible, that is not ready to change his mindset. And if you never change your mindset, you will always produce bad results and affect others. So I think that will be one person that I will not like. Subtle, soft. Moving on, the last question, people. Tell me about the personal sphere. Tell me about the best way you spend your time when you're not working. क्या करते हो आप, क्या उखाड़ते हो जिंदगी में जब आप काम नहीं करते हो? So it's a very decent question to check what क्या करते हो आप, लाइफ को इन जनरल आपका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू कैसा है. वेरी सटल क्वेश्चन. वो आपको चेक करेगा कि आपके आंसर से क्या ये रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा है. Is it reflecting that you are positive, you are outgoing, you're welcoming people, welcoming ideas? ये वो टेस्ट कर रहा है कि इन जनरल लाइफ को आप कैसे देखते हो, पॉजिटिव है, नेगेटिव है कि न्यूट्रल है, राइट. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ जस्ट स्पीकिंग अबाउट क्रेजी वीकेंड पार्टीज, ओके, सिंपली हमारे दिमाग में आ जाएगा कि अरे वीकेंड में तो हम लोग सिर्फ एक ही काम करते हैं, which we all know, our favorite time pass. We hang out with people and drink and spend money and all these things. So instead of just speaking of that, try adding some value to your sentences, right? Like for example, talk about adventure sports, talk about philanthropy मतलब social service, right? Hobby classes like guitar, like photography, dance, music. थोड़ा सा creative, something creative, talk about that, right? So your answer, remember, should reflect positivity. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया positivity, vibrant nature, outgoing personality, creativity and wisdom. ठहराव, right? ये सारा चीज को लेके आपको अगर एक आंसर दे सकते, that will be your best answer. So one of the best answer is, well, as I was telling you earlier, जैसे कि आप ऑलरेडी अपने हॉबीज के बारे में कुछ तो बताए होंगे अभी तक इंटरव्यू में. So well, as I was telling you earlier, I absolutely love photography. Whenever I get some recess out of my busy schedule, I wander into the woods and get on the roads or maybe sail on the boats to capture the sheer magnificence and Madhulika Mahapatra is there. The persona grata is connected. Okay, we just had. Who is doing this? We just had a power disruption. I'm sorry, people. What you're going to do? Why are you going to do that? Okay, do that. Not a problem. I think we are back online. Are we? Oh, or are we not? Sorry about someone really disturbing us. I don't know who's disturbing, who's making that noise. All right, people. So we were discussing about the best time that the best way that you spend your time when you're not working. Remember that your answer should reflect some kind of positive behavior, your outgoing personality, some kind of creative mindset, right? So one of the answers that you can definitely say that, well, as I was telling you earlier, I this is just one example. Uh, well, I was telling you that I am an absolute fan of photography. Whenever I get some recess time, I go into the woods, I travel on the roads, I sail on the boats, all this to capture the sheer magnificence and the beauty of the nature inside my lenses. I just love doing that. And while doing it, I feel very peaceful and very tranquil at my heart. I feel very good while being creative and capturing the beauty in my lenses, right? So this is one such example where you're trying to be positive and vibrant and tell the recruiter that you are quite positive and you have very good outlook about everyone, right? So people, we have come to the end with this. Remember that we discussed the 8 HR segments and various questions pertaining to these 8 segments. We have more sessions coming up. Now remember, people who have signed up for this program using the sign up button, and if you have not signed up, there will be a link down below this video when we upload this video, edit and upload this video. The link will be provided. Please do sign up so that we can send you the free PDF file of this entire session, which you can quickly refer before going to your interviews. It is really going to help you. It will have all the best answers written out for you. Not only that, there are future sessions coming up, right, on the 6 most important factors. One of them we've already covered. Remember, we will talk about body language, dress code, voice modulation, the psychology of hiring, and resume writing, right? So the 30 best questions we have already discussed. The rest 5 we will be going live in coming up days, and all of this, and we will be sending you free PDFs after each session, just like we will be sending you after this session. So please sign up. It helps us to keep a track of all of you. It helps us, it motivates us to have such videos. And please do interact in the live session. It helps me. It motivates me. It will help you as well take the maximum benefit if possible.